The seismic interpretation tools are found on the ribbon. When you click the button, a new panel pops up. Before we can start interpreting, we first need to create a seismic interpretation feature class. In the ground model add-in, interpretations are stored as regular feature classes. Creating an empty one is simple. You just choose where you want to store it, give it a name, and set the coordinate system. Now, if you already have interpretations from another system like Kingdom, you don't have to start from scratch. You can convert them into something that can be edited directly in ground model. This works by either importing existing interpretation points or extracting them from gridded surfaces. Once you're ready to start interpreting, just select the feature class you want to use from the drop-down menu. You'll notice that each feature class has a number next to it. This acts as a keyboard shortcut, making it easy to switch between them as you go. There are two main types of interpretations you can do: single feature and multi-feature. I'll go over the differences between them in a moment when we get into the actual interpretation. Now, when you hit start, you'll see a set of buttons appear that you can use during the interpretation. The interpret button is enabled by default, so you can begin interpreting right away. But first, I want to change my interpretation mode. Since I'm working with a long continuous reflector, I'll set the mode to auto track internal. There are a few different auto tracking options available, plus a manual mode if you prefer. In this case, I want to track the black reflector, so I'll choose maximum amplitude. To start picking points, I just click with my left mouse button along the reflector. You'll see that it automatically tracks the reflector between the points. If I need to switch lines, I just click in the map, and you can see my interpretation updates in the map. You can also see the intersection point between this line and the one I previously interpreted. This helps tie the interpretations together across different lines. I can keep building out my interpretation like this. Sometimes you might need to interpret multiple features on the same line and assign different attributes to each one. That's where the multi-feature option comes in. Every time you click New, it creates a new interpretation feature in the attribute table. You'll see that the active feature is always highlighted with the yellow outline. If you need to switch to a different feature, just click Select and pick the one that you want to edit. Many of the buttons like New, Select, Erase, Undo, and Redo have keyboard shortcuts, making the whole process much more efficient. Since we have a 3D window available, we can also visualize the interpretation in 3D alongside the seismic data. This is really useful for quality control, as it helps ensure there are no vertical mismatches at the intersection points between the lines.